Hey YouTube, it's Craig here. I'm back with a new video, and this one is a little mistake that I made. The mistake is that I bought a vintage fountain pen. And not one, but two. I bought two vintage fountain pens, two vintage Waterman's Ideal fountain pens. And why is that a mistake? Well, it's a horrible disease collecting anything. Collecting vintage Waterman Ideal fountain pens is one of those horrible disease things that you just can't stop collecting. Yeah, I kind of want to just show you off what I got from eBay last week, as well as the pen I picked up from my first ever pen meetup. So let's check those out. So this is the first pen that I got last week. It is a Waterman's 12VP. As you can see right here on the end of the barrel. So the 1 means it's an eyedropper filled pen. 2 means it has a number 2 sized 14 karat gold nib. The V is, the VP is vest pocket. Normally V would mean that's a shorter pen. These old Watermans had the patent dates, so you see 1884, 1899, 1903. But this pen is approximately from around 1917. It has a different cap. This pen wasn't meant to have this cap. It's all inked up. It's an eyedropper filled pen, so it is full of ink. As you can see, I'm getting ink on my finger as I'm just holding it here. But it is an extremely wet noodle. It goes from an extra fine all the way up to like a quadruple broad, super flexy, soft nib. It's the pen I won off eBay. I was a last second bid sniper, and it went for way more than I anticipated, but it's a tiny, cool little pen. Actually, when you post it, it's a pretty decent size. So I will do a writing sample with you guys on this one so you can see what it looks like. But this was my first purchase of the week for Team Vintage, and I really like it. I really like it a lot. It's a blast to write with. Then I went to a pen meetup, OC Pen Club, Orange County, California, pen club. I got there, I was planning on being there for 3 hours, but I had an appointment I had to get to right after, so I only went for an hour, but I met some really cool people, and I walked in, and I don't really know what to expect. I had made a post on Facebook saying like, hey, can't wait to see you guys. I'm bringing my German fountain pens. And I brought some freebies with me and that sort of thing. But I walked in, and I saw someone sitting down with all of his pens like out on display. And I go, okay, I'll do the same thing. I'll just go sit right next to this guy. I don't know any of these people, and I'll put all my pens on display and talk about them, or chit chat with people. And little did I know that he was actually just selling his pens. So those were like his extras that he was selling, and he had these like beautiful like sterling silver and gold filled Watermans, and I was afraid to say anything because I didn't know what he was doing with them. And then a guy came over and started going through each one of them. He's like, okay, cool, how much for this, how much for this, how much for this, how much for this? And within like, I want to say a couple minutes, like half those Watermans were gone. More than half those Watermans were gone. And there was only like a couple left, and one of them was this. And I picked it up and I held on to it, and I go, okay, it's a Waterman's 52. So 5 means it's a lever filler, and the 2 means it has the number 2 sized 14 karat gold nib on it. And he said that one has, it has a really big crack. So if I zoom in, you can see right underneath the clip right here, there's a huge crack that goes all the way up underneath the clip. And it's ebonite, so it's not something that you can really get fixed. And because of that, the cap kind of jiggles a little bit. But you know what? For its age, I think it's from either the late 20s or early 30s. You can just barely see that imprint. So you can see how this one doesn't really have all the patent dates on it. You can tell it's a little bit later than this one, whereas this one has all of those patent dates. This one does not. Oh, I didn't even notice this. This is Waterman's made in the USA right there. So I didn't even notice that one. That's cool. And you have the clip cap. But really, really pretty Waterman's 52. Like I said, I collected the 52.5 Vs, which were basically this size but thinner. And it was just like a mini version of this pen. But I thought the wood grain look on this, it's not the red ripple, but the wood grain look was really cool. And I want to get more of these So I asked him, I go, oh, well, how much for this pen? He goes, $80. And I go, all right, I'll take it. I didn't even barter or anything like that. That's a really good price for a Waterman's 52. I'm going to send it off to Greg at Antique Digger and have him fix it up and make it look shiny. I mean, it's pretty shiny on camera, but it needs a little work here and there. There's a scratch going along the grip section right here, but, you know, that's okay for the price. You know, $80 is a really good price for one of these pens. I'm just getting ink all over the place. I have no idea where it's coming from. This one, it runs about extra fine to double broad, but I'll get everything adjusted on this. I haven't inked this one up other than just dipping it into the inkwell. There's that smooth feed. Actually, on this one, you can actually see there's a August. It says August on the feed. Old versus new. I mean, old versus less old. Waterman's Ideal, New York. And then down below it says 2. This one says Waterman's Regulation US Patent Off. Another reason why I know this cap isn't what goes with this pen is if you look at the threads, see how there's less threads on this one versus this one, and yet this cap is the perfect size and threads nicely onto this pen. So this is probably a pen, a cap off of a 52 as well, that they kind of didn't have one for the 12 VP, so they popped it on here, but it works. It doesn't, you know, it goes right up to the print on the barrel, but it works. It's a nice fit, but you can definitely tell this hasn't patinaed quite as much as the barrel has. It's like there you go, you can see the color difference. Those are the 2 new, very old pens. And this one I'm going to send off right now. I actually have it all printed out. I'm just getting the box ready. And I'm going to send this one out right after this writing sample to Greg in Florida to get cleaned up. Let's get right into a writing sample. All right, writing sample time. This is the 12 VP. I will, even though this isn't the right cap, I will post this on here. And it's actually shorter than a Kaweco, but when it's posted, it's longer, a lot longer than a Kaweco Sport. And barely any pressure. You can see it's like extra fine to extra thick. Like barely any pressure. Look at that line variation, it's amazing. It's stunning. Oh, and there you go, railroading. So yeah, it dumps a lot of ink and you have to kind of let it sit and it'll eventually fill the feed again, but it really, I mean, really dumps the ink down. So I'm using Mont Blanc Mystery Black. And like I said before, this is an eyedropper fill, so you unscrew the section and you have to get a ink syringe or something like that, and you fill the entire barrel up and then you screw it all back together. So that's why I'm getting ink all over my hands, because it is just ready to dump ink everywhere. So this is a super wet noodle. And this is from approximately 1917. There we go. Now we'll compare that to the Waterman's Ideal 52. Again, this one I haven't actually used the ink sac on it. I'm going to get it replaced with a new one, even though this probably is a new one, but just had to dip this back in, so here we go again. And this one is about the same, so like extra fine to see, not as wet noodle as that, but still pretty good. Some side-by-side comparison. It's just so crazy. Look at that. Look how much ink that lays down. Yeah, there was some railroading at the end, but it's dumping down ink so quickly, it can't even, like, it's gonna take forever for that to dry. But super fun. Really happy I got these pens. And that's the video. Thanks so much for checking it out, you guys. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment down below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more content like this. Check out my Instagram at CraigRockanova. And stay tuned, because coming soon, I will be giving away this Graphon Faber-Castell Classic Macassar pen. I'm thinking once I hit 500 subscribers, I will be giving this away to one of you. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.